Unit 2, Lesson 2. So here you see at the very start of this worksheet, there's a small investigation which we're going to do in class together. All right, and we can talk about that a little bit later on. So we're going to move on to the next part, where we look at some of the properties of radicals. Okay, so we're looking at multiplying two radicals. So what's really important here is when you're adding two radicals, you can only add the values together if they have the same radical part, if they're like terms. If they're not like terms, you can't add them, but you can multiply them. So look, if you look at this, root 3 times root 2 is actually root 6. Okay? You just multiply the radical into the radical. So with multiplication, you can multiply radical into radical, and division is the same. If you look at this one here, what I'm going to do here is, this is the same as 2 times 3, because I'm lining up the whole numbers. And now I'm going to line up the radicals, root 5 times root 2. Now multiply the numbers by the numbers, 2 times 3 is 6. The radicals by the radicals, root 10. Okay? It's very easy. And this one here, look, you can divide one radical into the other. So when you do root 32 divided by 2, it's root 6 by root 2, it's root 16, which is 4. Okay? So let's have a look and see what else we've got. Let's scroll down a little bit, we'll see these ones here. This one is a little bit trickier, right? So we're going to separate the number from the radicals. So we're going to write this. Imagine that it's 1 root 12 over 2 root 3. So we're going to separate the numbers out to the front, that's a half. And we're going to separate the radicals together like this. Okay, so we have a half. And root 12 over root 3 is root 4. Okay, which equals a half. And root 4 is 2, so we get 1. So when you have numbers and radicals in a fraction, you separate out the numbers, you separate out the radicals, you calculate what the radicals give, and you just finish it from there. So look, here's the problems that we're going to do to practice related to those. Any doubts you have, please come and sit with me at the top of the class while we work through them. And finally, simplifying radicals. So we had a look at some of this already. So, root 28, right? So the perfect squares are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and so on. So you want to write root 28 as a radical times a radical, but you want one of them to come from this list. Okay, now 1 doesn't count. We don't use 1 in this situation. So which one of these radicals, which is the biggest one that divides into 28? Well, it's 4. 28 is root 4 times root 7. Okay, and then look, root 4 just changes to a 2. Root 7 stays as it is. And that's how simple it is. So, again, practice set to work on these. When you have these done, you're finished this lesson and you can move on.